Soviet chef. He was preparing a stew for the soldiers. He didn't expect to see a German tank approaching him at the speed of light. Ivan was so frightened that he took cover, and then the German tank finally reacted. It was a moose that had mistakenly entered the Soviet camp, so they started machine gunning. After realizing that there was no hostile situation, the German tanks wanted to get out of here, but the smell of food caught their attention, so the tanks turned around, and then they fell on the Soviet dinner on their asses. The dumbfounded Ivan was furious at the sight. Even though he cursed 100 times, he was still angry, seeing that the German tanks were about to slip away. So he quickly grabbed his axe and climbed up to the tank, but just as he was about to make the second blow, the tank braked sharply and almost fell. The Germans inside were stunned. They thought the Soviets had fired a nuclear bomb at them, so they rushed to check through the window. They realized there was no one outside. The tank kept turning around, but there were still noises from above, so the Germans opened fire. Ivan snorted a few times. The machine gun on the tank was knocked out of alignment. The Germans inside thought there were thousands of Soviets outside. They were all trembling with fear, and Ivan undid the rag. Ivan unraveled the rag and covered all the holes in the tank. The Germans inside lost their vision. They were running around like headless flies. They didn't realize that a reversal of the tank was instantly mummified. Ivan was worried that the Germans would climb out of the tank as soon as they lost their vision, so he kept banging on the tank. He warned that there were thousands of Soviet troops outside. He hoped that the Germans inside would not act rashly, but the Germans inside still refused to surrender. So Ivan quickly picked up the fireweed and shoved it into the German tank. The Germans inside were instantly smoked out. Ivan said he'd throw a grenade into the tank. The Germans were speechless and surrendered in a second, but when they looked around for 4 weeks, they realized they'd been tricked. Ivan was the only one out there. Then the Soviet team returned to the camp. They found a German tank parked there. They took cover. Ivan told them to come over immediately. The captain is confused. He went up to check it out. He realized that 4 Germans had been captured on the spot by their own cook, and although they lost a lot of chowder, but in return, they had gained a table full of delicious food. But it wasn't over yet. And then the Soviets, in a display of supreme ingenuity, with great ingenuity, once again outmaneuvered and annihilated the Krauts.